Hey, what's happening, guys? First of all, I want to let you know that there is a new camera in the works right now, so I won't be working with this piece of shit for too much longer. But it's got me through so far, but it's time now for something new. So look forward to better quality video. This video, I want to talk about cardio and how much cardio is too much cardio. Where can you find that good point where you're doing enough to burn the most amount of fat that you can, but not too much to where you're overtraining or you are burning too much muscle. First of all, as I always say, you definitely want to make sure that your diet's in check, specifically protein, because you want to make sure that your muscles are getting enough amino acids to maintain the muscle mass that you already have. Generally, when you're taking in a lot of protein, I personally take in about 260 grams a day or so, sometimes even more. Typically, you're getting enough amino acids, but you can also supplement BCAAs. And you're on a cut, and if you can afford it, you can go ahead and pick up some freeform BCAAs just to ensure that you're getting enough. Honestly, studies are mixed as far as BCAA freeform consumption goes, but it really can't hurt. I mean, if you have the extra money to throw in for those, they're not too expensive. So I say go ahead and give it a try. But personally, I think that as long as you're getting enough protein from complete sources, which are from animal sources, that you should be fine as far as that goes. Now, assuming you have that in check, personally for me, I choose to do mostly low intensity cardio on this cut. When I actually first started out, I was mixing up high intensity interval training with low intensity cardio. But especially for me at this point, on those low carb days, which are 5 days out of the week for myself, I rarely can even find the energy, especially on the same day that I lift weights, to actually do the high interval intensity training, just because, my glycogen levels are so low as it is. High intensity interval training actually uses up a lot of your glycogen as well, because when you're doing those fast bursts of speed, you're mostly using glycogen instead of fat. And vice versa, when you're actually doing low intensity steady state cardio, you're actually burning more fat than glycogen, although both are being used. So for me, what I've noticed has worked best is doing low intensity cardio, usually like 4 to 5 times a week. When I choose to do it on the days that I actually do lift, I have to work in the morning, and I usually get off around anywhere from like 3 to 5 p.m. And that's when I'll actually hit the gym to do my workout if I'm working out that day. So usually I actually prefer for myself to actually run at night, and sometimes that's even as late as like 10 or 11 o'clock. And what I do is actually just go run outside, and I have a particular route that I do. In order to finish that actual route that I set out for myself, it usually takes me anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes. When I'm doing this, I'm not over exerting myself. I keep it at a steady pace the whole time. I notice personally for me that it's a lot easier to run for that 30 to 40 minutes when I'm actually going somewhere instead of running on a treadmill where I'm kind of just running in place. Even if there's like a TV in front of me, I usually notice that it's just hard for me to keep on going when I'm just kind of running in place. It kind of seems more repetitive, even though I'm kind of doing the same thing when I'm actually running outside. But how are you supposed to know when you're actually overdoing the cardio? What has personally worked for me is just kind of letting my body be the judge. There'll be some days where I feel really run down, and I just feel like the cardio that particular day would hurt me more than it would benefit me. So I just kind of wait till the next day, and usually by that time I'm feeling a lot better, and then I go have myself a good cardio session. Some guys like Scooby, for instance, prefer doing cardio every day. Now, I in no way knock that way of thinking, but just for me, I notice that 4 to 5 times a week is sufficient, and I get the most benefit out of that frequency. As far as do I think cardio is a must on a cut, I think it definitely helps a lot. Now, as you guys know, if you're in a caloric deficit day in and day out, you are going to lose weight, but once you get your body fat to that 12% and below range, things like cardio, I believe, really do help get you to that next level. So if you guys have any more questions about cardio that you want answered, feel free to ask me. This is kind of just a general overview of how I view cardio and what has worked for me. You definitely got to understand, just as with a lot of other things, with cardio, it's going to be kind of a person-to-person basis, and you kind of got to just figure out what works for you as far as burning the most amount of fat while losing the minimum amount of muscle as possible.